That was unbelievable. I cannot believe this car just did that.
Because I'm not going to lie, this is worse than it's been before.
I agree. Okay, so we're back at the same place at Hennops. This time in a proper Land Rover Discovery 4 as opposed to the Land Rover Discovery Sport. And we're about to attempt exactly the same obstacle.
Axle twisting.
Yes, that we got stuck in the Discovery Sport. This obviously has low range.
Yes.
It has suspension that can raise it, and it has the special programs. What I'm actually going to try and do is see if it'll do it with all of that turned off, in high range, none of that stuff, and let's see what happens.
There's a rather large rock.
There is a rather large rock. I shall actually try and avoid that.
These seem very deep.
They do seem very, very deep. We've got some scraping. So far we're doing okay. We have actually got over the first couple. We got stuck in the first hole. Immediately. Okay, these next ones are huge.
Yeah.
These next ones are massive.
You might want to raise the suspension just
okay, I think
to not damage things.
Yeah, I've proved my point.
You want to go in low range?
Let's see what high range does.
Okay. They're going up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a little bit of traction control for the first time. Okay, I've effectively just pointed the car at the summit.
And just pushed...
And just lightly pushed the accelerator. And we've monstered it. We raised the suspension just because we respect Land Rovers.
Yeah. It's not our car.
It's not our car.
So we don't want to break it. But
yeah,
you probably could have done that without...
I didn't need low range, I didn't need it.
We got stuck in the Disco Sport there.
Yeah, right here is where we were stuck for like years. And we've just
driven over it.
I'm so relaxed, it's unbelievable.
And that can't be a case of me being a tool and pushing on the
I didn't do
accelerator
anything.
too much.
I literally did not do anything. This car is just that unbelievably good. Suspension in extended mode. Reselect suspension height if clear of obstacle. For further suspension lift, press raise switch and brake pedal for 3 seconds. So press and hold that. I've got the brake. 1, 2, 3. Oh wow, we are actually going up again. Just a little bit.
See how it shows you how your axles are twisted.
And where I presume that's where the pressure is on
the wheels.
On the wheels or something.
Or where the
the brakes.
Braking,
yeah, what braking is doing. Okay, which is the more crazy way?
I think this way.
The middle one.
Yeah, I think that might be mistake.
Oh, hello. There's a lot more axle twisters here. But this car just makes everything look so easy.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to have been on a 4x4 course.
No.
You don't have to know what you're doing, which is basically what category we fall into.
Right now we're going through some massive donkers. These are quite actually, these are stupid. And
you just point the car and push your foot on the accelerator.
And off we go. I have to say, one of the features I also really like about the Discovery 4 are these.
Armrests, yeah.
Particularly when you're, particularly as a driver.
Do you want to try hill descent?
Yeah, chuck it on. Okay, so we're now on hill descent.
Can you now change the speed? If you were to push up?
It doesn't indicate. There's nowhere that indicates a change of speed immediately.
Okay.
Obviously you have your kilometers an hour reading on the dash, and it did feel like when I moved the
changed the speed.
Move the control up and down, it did feel like I tried to regulate the speed, but let's see what happens. So 3, 2, 1, foot off. Okay, so at the moment it's reading between 1 and 2 k's an hour.
So if you push
If I push up, it's now gone to 3, 4.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think it does, well, I'm pretty sure it does change.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't indicate to you what you're, like when you're on the road.
Yeah, it's not going to indicate what your speed is.
Yeah.
It's just going to go up, or it might come down, but this is your actual speed at the current time.
Yeah. So the car got us down there, not me.
Yeah.
Because I had my feet off everything. All I did was a little bit of steering.
You're probably going to get comments on YouTube, best off-road driver ever.
I know, right?
I'm going to look like a ride tool.
There's very little that we've tested on this track that has done this well.
Just this easily.
And this comfortably.
Yeah.
Admittedly at a price, it's pretty ridiculous. Let's try and not scratch the paintwork. Yeah, this is...
I want to be in rock crawl.
I was going to say, I'm going to put us into rock crawl now. Low range, highest suspension there is. Okay, here we go. See, that's much smoother than the gravel that we had. I can't really see anything.
Keep going right. Yeah, okay. You can start turning in. This is a big rock on the side.
What am I doing?
Fine on the side.
Sliding a little bit.
Reversing.
No, I think I've got plenty of space. Hope you're alright. How are you feeling there? Slightly, oh my goodness, are we going to get up this?
That's a very good question.
I don't know if we're going to get up
Do you
that.
want me to let me go out and guide you?
Okay, so we're going to get some guidance for this bit, because this has seriously degraded. Okay, I'm using Miles's directions try and get the wheels up. Wow, we are up high in the air. I now need to start turning to the right to avoid this tree.
Yeah, what's the tree?
I'm trying to. Come on, little disco. Using some friendly strangers to help us along. There we go. Power, 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 power. And try and not run him over when you have a spotter. It's always a good idea.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. Serious, huh?
That was so serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the craziest things we've ever driven over.
Yeah.
The recent rains must have really... Oh my goodness, that's tight as well. Wow, this is even...
Oh yeah, this is But I mean,
this
yeah.
is what we filmed with the
Yeah.
Disco Sport, but the Disco Sport did manage it. This looks a bit worse than it was.
Yeah, I went around most of it when I
okay.
was on Disco. Anyway, so let's do the game of
Top
top trumps.
Well,
So we've
our
got the-
version of top trumps,
Yeah.
not actual
Yeah.
top trumps.
Okay, we've got the SD V6. Right.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
We do.
Guess power and torque.
Well, it's a diesel, so it's not going to have huge
3
power.
litre turbo diesel.
3 litre turbo diesel, I'm going to say, in kilowatts?
Yeah, kilowatt.
Okay, so in kilowatts, I'm going to say 170.
Close-ish, 183.
Okay, so it's
And-
got, that's a decent amount of kilowatts actually.
Yeah. And torque?
450.
600.
600!
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
600 Newton meters. That's incredible.
Okay, so 3 litre supercharged V6 petrol,
Oh, it's going to have a lot more kilowatts, so I'm going to say 220 kilowatts.
250.
Okay, so Jesus, my predictions are awful. So 250 kilowatts, Newton meters, I'm going to say 600, 500 odd?
450.
450. I'm so rubbish at this game. One option or feature that I'm surprised this particular model has, you may be able to get it, but I've noticed none of the Land Rovers we've had it. So the Range Rover Evoque didn't have it, the Discovery Sport didn't have it, and the Discovery 4 now hasn't had this feature.
Yeah.
And that's an eco mode. Every car these days comes with an eco mode. Now, I'm not necessarily a fan of those with the start stops and what have you, but I'm very surprised it hasn't got it.
Let's see if it's on the options list.
I would have thought that would be a fairly big selling point. And of course, the press models that we get tend to have all the super popular stuff. So an eco mode, if it's an optional extra, is almost always specified. But these don't have it.
There is no option.
Because I'm
This thing's got something called active roll mitigation. Anyway, so back to the game. Do you want to take a stab at the base price? So without whatever options it doesn't have, I can't imagine there are too many considering it's the HSE. But
the HSE base model, I'm going to say 950,000 rand.
1,074,000 rand.
Okay, so it's a bar. Jeez.
I think the next debate is probably, do you buy a Land Rover Discovery 4 or do you buy a BMW X5, a Merc GL, an Audi Q7 or a Volvo XC90 or one of the other ones that is in this sort of range?
I personally, I think that's a very, very easy choice.
I thought you would say that.
If you want to go to Kruger once every 2 years, your family holidays are down to Durban, then you buy the Volvo XC90.
Yep.
In my opinion, because it is just that good. It's such a great car but it's got no 4x4 capabilities.
Correct.
If you're the kind of person whose holidays always involve tents or the bush or towing lots of boats and jet skis and things like that,
Or heading off to Namibia, going to Mozambique, anywhere where there might not necessarily be even a gravel road, it's something a bit more than that. Then you
get
buy
this 100%. I would also consider the Merc. The Merc is, to me, is almost a compromise between the two, because it's actually the GL actually has some pretty damn good off-road capabilities. This is going to beat it. But the Merc, I think, is also inside much nicer. I think
than this.
Yes. as I think is the Volvo.
Yes.
I think the Volvo is nicer inside than this. But if you need the ultimate 4x4ing experience, you get this. If you want a combination of both,
Get the Merc.
get the Merc if your preference is luxurious interior.
Yes.
Because this is super comfy, and the ride quality is outstanding
great.
in this. There's nothing wrong with it. And you get the Volvo if all you care about is the 7 seats and having a car that looks really, really good.
It's the safest one of all of them.
It is the safest one of all of them by far.
And I think it does luxury quite well.
It does luxury very, very well.
It
It just doesn't do off-road.
just doesn't do. Yeah.
Okay, so we haven't thought about the Jeep Grand Cherokee.
And I think to compare apples with apples, you have to consider the Jeep as a direct competitor to this.
Just the American version, as it were.
Yeah.
I personally would have this over the Jeep any day of the week.
You see, I don't know. I always like to be a little bit different, and that's why I think I've always favoured Jeep, because everyone always goes on about Land Rover and their off-road capability, and I've always thought, well, the Jeep can basically do everything that the Discovery can anyway.
Yeah. So I think it does depend a lot on your personal bias.
Yeah,
Which
look,
one do you take?
I've got no doubt that most people would, if presented with those two options, would buy this. They buy the Discovery. I reckon 80% of people in this country.
Okay, but the Discovery itself, the conclusions we can draw from this car, on the road, it's sublime from a comfort, practicality point of view. It does have an awful gearbox. All Land Rovers now seem to come with this awful gearbox. This one seems to be a little bit better than the Evoque and the Discovery Sport, but
They're just very dopey, and I have a feeling that if you drove the petrol car, it would be less of an issue.
it
I
just
have a
seems to be a
feeling
lot of
it's a
time.
combination of the characteristic of a diesel engine together with this specific gearbox. It's just dopey.
So there is almost a technique now to drive it, which I've now, over a few days, I've gotten used to.
Yeah.
But it is, to me, the gearbox is a big downside
Yeah.
to the car. But as I say, comfort on the road is amazing. Off-road, as we've just seen, is unbelievably good.
Yes. And if you had off-road tires, it would be even better.
It would be, yeah.
You could basically go almost anywhere.
Exactly, the one bit that we got stuck, if we had proper off-road tyres with the grip that you need to get over those loose rocks and so on,
Yeah.
you would have been fine.
Yes.
So for me, the Discovery is almost, I don't want to use the word perfect because it's by no means perfect, but I can completely
It's the
see.
SUV that you would buy.
Yeah.
And you did buy.
Well, I bought an
Of
old
the
one that
three,
was,
yeah.
an interesting experience. But as a new SUV, I think it's the one. If I was someone who wanted to off-road, this is the one I would get.
Yes.
I would get this.